It's currently 1:30 in the morning and I'm inspired to make a YouTube video, so I'm going to go ahead and make it. If you're wondering why I'm up at 1:30 a.m. on a Sunday night or Monday morning, it's because number one, I'm kind of hardcore addicted to old school RuneScape and I'm a bit of a night owl, so I like to stay up late. Number two is because I have the Sunday scaries, as they call it. I haven't worked a job in over 2 years now. And to this day, I still feel uneasy on Sunday nights, and going into Monday. I don't know why. I do the same exact thing 7 days a week, but I'm so programmed. We're so programmed from going to school and from having jobs that even if you don't have a job for years, you still feel that uneasiness. And that comes from the overthinking and things like that I'm going to talk about in this video. This idea that I have for this video, I believe it to be life-changing. If I would have heard this 4 years ago, it would have been absolutely life-changing to me. So if you're still in a spot where you're still not successful, whether that's on YouTube or with fitness or with sports or literally anything, money making, fitness, health, wealth, whatever, anything, this is going to help you. And if you haven't heard it before, or if you haven't heard it this way, it's probably going to be life-changing, because I know for a fact it would be life-changing for me. What I want to talk about in this video is the fact that there's a ton of people out there who are more successful than you with YouTube in particular. We're going to talk about YouTube in this video, and they're way dumber than you. You're way smarter than them. You might even be way smarter than me, and yet they're more successful than you. I'm going to tell you why and how you can stop having that be the case in this video. To give you an example, whenever I was growing up, I was a baseball player. That's what I did. I was like, and everybody knew me like in school and everything as like the baseball guy. I was pretty good, but I'm an overthinker. And you probably are too if you're watching this. So growing up, I was always pretty good, and like I said, in practice and everything, I was so super good. When it came to the games though, I wouldn't like choke under pressure or anything like that, but I would be very dependent on how the games went early on to dictate how the rest of the game would go. I remember thinking, very, very clearly, I remember thinking, if I get a hit in the first inning, I'll be good. More specifically, though, if I made a play in the field in the first inning, I played shortstop. If I made a play in the field, I'd be good, because for some reason, making an error is like the most embarrassing thing in the world to me. Like, so if I made an error, it was probably going to be a bad game. And I was always so jealous of the people on my team and on the other team that were not even near as good as me, but they were too stupid to know that they weren't as good as me. So they performed even better than me, because they're not overthinking. They're not thinking, I got to get a hit here so I can perform, so I can, it's kind of like a basketball player seeing the first shot go in. I got to get a hit here so I can get into the groove of this game so I can perform well for the rest of the game. They weren't thinking all that. They were just like, yeah, I'm the shit. I'm going to go out here and I'm going to do my thing. And they did. They went out there and they did that thing. They did their thing because they thought that. And whereas I'm over here like overthinking every single little thing, like not only is it me trying to get a hit, but I'm trying to get a hit, and this at bat holds so much weight that if I don't get a hit here, or if I strike out, if I look stupid for the rest of this game, I'm going to be off until I do get a hit. Same thing in the field. If I'm in the field the first inning, a ground ball is hit to me, but like when the ball hits the bat, to the time the ball hits my glove, I'm having all these thoughts racing through my head of, what happens if I make this error? What happens if the ball goes between my legs? I'm going to suck for the rest of the game. Everybody in the stands is going to laugh at me. The coach is going to get mad at me. If I keep making errors like this, because there's going to be a snowball effect, because this is going to affect my confidence so much that maybe I even get benched eventually for the freshman that's behind me, who's also a shortstop. All these things going through my head, and then I just make the play because I'm good. I made that same play 1,000 times in practice. The same thing is probably happening to you with YouTube. And this whole time, every single game, I would see these people who are not even close to as good as me, but because they had the mindset of, yeah, I'm the shit, I'm just going to go out here and do my thing, and they didn't care about all this other overthinking stuff that I care about, they did better than me, and they got further than me. And there's probably a lot of people out there who have the same mindset as that when it comes to YouTube, where they're just like, yeah, I'm the shit, I deserve to grow on YouTube, and I'm just going to go do my thing. Whereas you're sitting here, and you're like, I got to master thumbnail creation. I got to master editing. I got to get the perfect lighting. I got to get the crispiest looking camera, the best microphone that all the top YouTubers use before I even make a video. And that's why the idiots are so much further ahead than you, because you're thinking about all these things instead of just acting. You need to be acting and then figure out the rest later. Everybody who comes into my coaching program, the number one piece of advice that I can possibly give them is, yes, consume the information, but post a video, post videos immediately. And I guess I could just sit there and dump all the information on them that I possibly have on our onboarding call. But what is way more beneficial is you join and you instantly start posting and you start sending me your titles and your thumbnails and stuff like that. And I will tell you what changes you need to make. But the number one thing is you learn by doing. You don't learn by sitting on the sideline and watching. And so many people, they like to like trick their mind into giving them the dopamine hits of I'm doing the thing, whenever in reality, you're just fixing your camera settings to make your camera look a little bit crispier, and you're still not posting any videos. You're still not any closer to your goal. In reality, you're just doing research on what microphone you should get, and you're still not posting videos. You're still not any closer to your goal. You're still stuck in the 9-to-5 job that you hate, and you're not even getting any closer to becoming the YouTuber that you want to be. Or maybe, you're still doing research on a niche for your automation channel. Whatever the case is, if you're not acting and making videos and improving every single video that you post, and you're in the trenches, you're stuck on the outside looking in. You're not being the man in the arena. You're like me when it came to baseball. I guess I kind of was a man in the arena still, but you're sitting there and you're overthinking while there's somebody who's starting YouTube tonight. As I'm recording this at 1:30 a.m., he's probably posting his first YouTube video without thinking too much about it, without having the perfect audio, perfect video, perfect lighting, perfect editing, mastering thumbnails, all this stuff. He's just posting. And he's going to figure it out as he goes. I guarantee you he will get further along than you are if you're sitting there just procrastinating and thinking about how you can perfect all these things. The reason why there's people who are dumber than you that are more successful than you is because they think less. I know that sounds so counterintuitive. Let me put it to you in another analogy or hypothetical situation. For example, basically what I'm trying to say is you got to go all the way in or go all the way out. Stop, playing around and acting like these aren't serious situations. This is going to be a little hobby for you. If it's going to be a hobby, that's fine. This isn't even the video for you if this is going to be a hobby. If you're trying to make this a career, if you're trying to make actual real money, quit your 9-to-5 job, you got to make a decision. And decide means to cut off all other possibilities. So you need to decide, are you all the way in or are you all the way out? The most dangerous place for you to be is in the middle. If you're all the way in, then go all the way in. Start posting videos right here, right now. If you're all the way out, go find another business model or just stick to your 9-to-5 job and be happy with that. Nothing wrong with that. But you need to be all the way in or all the way out. And why it's so dangerous is because imagine you're on the interstate or you're on an expressway or something and you're driving straight, you're on the expressway, but somebody's trying to merge or you're trying to merge to get off the expressway or the interstate, whatever. What do you have to do in that situation? You have to choose to either slow down, let the person get on in front of you, or you have to speed up and make sure that you get in front of them so that they can get over or you can get over, whatever. What is the worst thing that you could possibly do is be indecisive on slowing down or speeding up and you just match their speed, stay in their blind spot and you crash. That's what happens when you're indecisive. That's what happens when you're overthinking all the time. Do I have the perfect lighting, the perfect camera, the perfect audio, all this stuff? You're indecisive and you're staying in their blind spot and you're going to crash. You're going to fail. It's inevitable. And then there's people that come into my coaching program. The people who are always the most successful are the ones that join and they instantly get to work. I have this guy, his name is Julian. Shout out to you, Julian, if you're watching this. The guy joined. He had some knowledge on YouTube, but he didn't know anything about the strategy side. He had videography knowledge and stuff like that. He joined hardly knowing anything at all about the strategy side. And he comes in, he just starts pumping out videos and sending me the thumbnails every single time. Every single improvement that I told him to make, he instantly made it. Instantly. And he adjusted the thumbnail in real time. And then the next thumbnail that he made, he was that much better. And he started pumping out content basically daily. And he blew his channel up. They're at like 15 or 20,000 subscribers now. And he had a video very early on hit 100,000 views. That's not by accident. The person who was overthinking, that was like 2-3 months ago. Person who is overthinking still hasn't even posted a video. He's still trying to perfect everything. And I have people inside of my program like that too. And I'll never give up on them. I still, I always try to push them. Hey man, let's get it going. I understand you're this type of personality. I'm that way too. I have actual OCD to where if you look at my hands, they're cracking because I wash them so obsessively. I have OCD too, man. I want to be a perfectionist. I want to make sure everything's perfect too. But that's not conducive to success. And I'm never going to give up on them. I'm still going to keep pushing them to keep posting. And a lot of them do come around and end up posting. And they're like, man, the one thing that they always say is, man, I wish I would have thought less and just acted in the beginning. I wish I would have just started posting whenever I first joined instead of trying to make everything perfect. That's what they always say. The people who have the most success stop all the thinking. Stop taking life so damn seriously, Like, yes, these are serious situations, but it's not the end of the world if it doesn't work out. Like it is the end of the world if you don't decide and then you always stay in the blind spot and then you crash. It's not the end of the world though. It's actually a good thing if you post videos for a few months and you realize this isn't for me, and then you can move on to something else. But if you never figure that out, you'll never be able to move on to something else and find what is for you. You're never going to figure that out. Something that a lot of people don't understand is like they'll talk about joining the coaching program or talk about investing into their automation channel, whatever the case is, and they're like, everything's so expensive, and people say this throughout all of life. They're always like, groceries are so expensive now, gas is so expensive, cars are so expensive, houses are so expensive, and they're right. Things are expensive, but they're not expensive to people like me. And I'm not saying that I'm super rich or anything like that. That might have sounded really conceited. It's more just like a mindset thing. It's expensive to people because, let's say, to get a $50,000 car, if someone makes $50K a year to get a $50,000 car, it's not the $50K that's expensive. It's the fact that it takes them a year to make the $50K. So it's not the fact that they're spending $50K that makes them say, man, cars are so expensive. It's the fact that you're basically giving up a year of your life to get that car. It's the time that is expensive. Even if let's say it's a $500,000 car or a house, that's 10 years of your life at $50,000 a year. That's why people feel like things are so expensive. Whereas people like me, we understand like how to make money with our creativity, and basically we're paying for things with creativity. Like if I needed to make an extra $100,000 this year, I know exactly how I would do it. I would just go make another YouTube channel and make $100,000 because once you have the skill set and once you have the creativity and you know how to do that, you know how to just pump out channels at will, you can do it, and it's been done by a ton of my students as well. I'm not some special case. I'm nothing special. But the point I was trying to make is the reason why people feel like everything is so expensive nowadays is because it is. Because you're paying your time for your money. And your time is the most valuable thing that you possibly have. And I'll prove it to you with this. I'll say this all the time. If I offered you $1 billion right here, right now, but you couldn't wake up tomorrow, would you accept it? I know for damn sure I wouldn't. I would rather wake up tomorrow 100 times out of 100. And I know you would too. Because time is more valuable than money. One singular day is worth more than $1 billion. That's just the reality of it. And that's why people feel like everything is so expensive. The point I'm trying to make is that time is so damn valuable that you wouldn't give up a singular day of your life, or you wouldn't not allow yourself to wake up tomorrow for $1 billion. Let that sink in for a second. So why the hell would you spend the next 3 to 5 years dabbling in YouTube or dabbling in whatever it is, because you need to get your audio perfect, your video perfect, you need to get the perfect freelancers, you need to get the perfect niche, whatever. You're sitting in the blind spot waiting to crash. Time is the most valuable thing. Worst case scenario, you start posting YouTube videos, you crash and burn, you fail miserably, and you move on to something else because you realize YouTube's not for you. Worst case scenario. Best case scenario, you start posting YouTube videos and you get to quit your 9-to-5 job in a few months, like a lot of the people who come into my program and start posting immediately do. It's so simple when you put it that way. But I think the most motivating thing is being around other people who are successful, ultra successful, quitting their jobs, getting hundreds of thousands, millions of subscribers, making hundreds of thousands of dollars, getting around those types of people and realizing these people are just like me. And I don't mean this in like a dickhead way, conceited way, but when I join coaching programs, I'll get around people and I'm like, I'm smarter than this guy. I'm more capable than this guy. I know more about this subject than this guy does. How is he doing so much better than me? And I don't think of it in like in a way where I'm trying to put them down or be jealous or anything like that. It's a motivating thing. It's like, oh, there's a whole nother level I can unlock here. And I hope that you guys get that from me too, from watching these videos, but it's even better when you're able to join a group of people who are the exact same as you, or you feel like aren't as capable as you, and they're already doing the thing. But hopefully you can even get that from me from these videos, because I am literally nothing special. The only thing that's different from me and you is, number one, I spent like 10 years trying to figure out this YouTube stuff and I finally figured it out. And number two, I believe more. Like I'm now at the point with YouTube in particular where I don't overthink things. I just post and post and post and I'm pumping out content. I have a content machine now, you know? That's the only difference is I spent 10 years figuring it out and I believe in it. That, you know, it's always the story of the 4-minute mile, right? I'm going through all my platitudes in this video, but I'm inspired. It's 1:45 a.m. now and I'm inspired. Okay. But the story of the 4-minute mile, right? Everybody thought the 4-minute mile was absolutely impossible to run. And then once one person did it, everybody started running the 4-minute mile. It started getting broken over and over and over again, because belief is such a powerful thing. And whenever something hasn't been done before, everybody's believing that it hasn't been done before. It must be impossible. And then once somebody does it, everybody believes, oh, this is possible. And then they start doing it. Well, I'm telling you right now, this is possible. Like you can make this happen. If you want to make it happen, you can 100% make it happen. I would put money. I would bet on it. If you came in and you did you followed the strategies, you followed the systems, I would put money on you winning. Put money on you making it happen. For sure. You just got to stop overthinking. The reason why, I'm going to keep reiterating this, the reason why idiots are able to be so successful on YouTube and you're still stuck is because you're overthinking. It's because you're trying to perfect everything. The best thing that you could possibly do to make a huge jump today, right here, right now, is just start taking action. Just start posting videos. And hopefully you have somebody to mentor you that you can send the videos to, you can send the titles to, the thumbnails to and everything, and they can critique them as they go. Talked about Julian earlier. All he did was start posting videos and made the mistakes early on. He kept sending me the videos. He kept sending me the titles and thumbnails. And I kept saying, make this change, make this change, make this change. He started changing them, but not just changing them for those one videos, but understanding why he's changing them so he can fix it for future videos without me telling him to. Now he's at the point where every single video he posts, he already knows what I'm going to say before I say it, before he even sends it to me. He doesn't even need to send me the videos anymore. They're just doing well on their own. He just understands YouTube now. He is now at the point where I'm at now that took me 10 years to get to, but it took him 2-3 months to do it. He's able to just keep pumping out content and keep making money, keep getting views. He's at that point now, you know, and anybody can get there. Julian he's an entertaining guy for sure, but anybody could get there. Literally anyone, you know. Hopefully this helped out. I just wanted to bring it to everybody's attention because, like I said, I struggled with this. I still do struggle with this. With YouTube, not so much, but with a lot of other things in life, I struggle with this, you know. And then you'll have the first video hit and it does really well, and you're still going to have those doubts creep into your mind where, you have that imposter syndrome. Like, oh, was it a fluke? And that's why, here's another great point too. Actually developing the skill and struggling a little bit, going through the trenches early on and thinking, man, I don't know if this is going to work. And then you make it happen over time. You're going to have one video that pops off and then you're still going to have those thoughts like, oh yeah, this happened once, but I don't know if it'll ever happen again. Then it happens again because you have the right systems and strategies in place. It's not a mistake. It happens again and again and again, and you make it out the trenches. That's completely different from getting lucky and going viral a couple of times and then having your channel die. You're not going to have any sort of confidence after that. You're not going to have any sort of conviction after that. It's like those crypto guys who got on a crypto pump. They got to be a multi-millionaire and now they're rich, but they have no conviction. They have no confidence. They're overthinking. They're overthinkers still. Even though they're rich, they're still overthinking. They don't have that conviction that I have when it comes to YouTube. They don't have that conviction that my students have when it comes to YouTube because they haven't developed the skill. They haven't actually made it out the trenches. They haven't actually been in places of doubt where it's like, damn, I don't know if this is going to work out, but I'm going to keep going anyway because what the hell else am I going to do? Give up? Stay in the blind spot? No, I'm not going to stay there. I'm going to keep going. I'm not going to slow down either. I'm not going to jump out. I'm not going to stay in the blind spot. I'm going to put my foot on the gas because what else am I going to do? Accept defeat? I'm literally incapable. Everything that I do in life, I want to be the absolute best. And it bites me in the ass sometimes, you know, whether that's video games, every single video game I played. So back in college, I played Counter-Strike. I got addicted to Counter-Strike. And I can't just play Counter-Strike. I have to be the best Counter-Strike player ever. I can't just play Counter-Strike. So I failed out of college trying to be the best Counter-Strike player ever. When it comes to like playing men's softball, it's not that I want to particularly be the best men's softball player ever, but I want to play against the best competition and I want to beat the best competition. When it comes to YouTube, I want to be the best YouTuber ever. I don't want to just be a YouTuber. It's not enough. And it's great to have that mindset. I think you have to have an element of that if you actually want to be the best. But you're going to get passed up if you don't have an element of delusion to you to think that you can actually do it, because that's why the idiots are able to get past you, is because they're deluded enough to think that they can actually accomplish something great. If you don't have that mixed in with the perfectionism, mixed in with the I want to be the absolute best at everything that I do, then you're not going to make it. You're going to stay in the blind spot. The reason why Kobe and LeBron and MJ and these guys are able to be as dominant and as legendary as they are / were is because they didn't stay in the blind spot. They put their foot on the gas because they're stupid enough to believe that they could do it. They're deluded enough. Yes, they're obviously ultra talented. Everybody's ultra talented in the NBA though. Why do you think those guys in particular were able to dominate the league? Kobe wasn't the most talented player ever. LeBron, you could make the case. Michael Jordan, you could make the case, I guess. Kobe wasn't. He's still arguably the best or one of the best players of all time because he was dumb enough, he was deluded enough to believe he could be the best. And he could make every single shot in every single clutch situation. Damian Lillard, he's not the most talented player, not even close. Every single clutch situation, he's stupid enough to believe he can make the shot, and he does it over and over and over again. Tom Brady, last pick in the draft. Why do you think he's able to be so successful? Because he's dumb enough to believe he can be the best of all time, and he is the best of all time. You have to have that element, but none of those guys would be the best if they didn't want to be the best. So it's not about not wanting to be the best and just being this dumb, bumbling idiot and just going through the motions and posting YouTube videos. It's about wanting to be the best, but also understanding being a perfectionist. Perfectionism is the enemy. Trying to be the best and being a perfectionist are two totally different things. Tom Brady's not a perfectionist. He wants to be the absolute best. If he was a perfectionist, he would have waited 5 years. You know, he would have decided, okay, I need an actual nutritionist. I need somebody to massage my muscles daily and all these recovery habits and everything like that. And then he would have waited 5 years to hire out the perfect people. He was like, no, let's just get this thing going right now so I can start that journey now and play as long as I possibly can. And the guy played till he was like 50, you know? And it's just, you just got to stop with the perfectionism stuff. I don't want to ramble on too much. Hopefully this video helped you out. I know that if I heard this stuff back when I was 20 years old, it would have helped me out a ton. So even if you're 50, hopefully this can help you out and just convince you, like, number one, stop overthinking everything, because the idiots are going to pass you up if you do. They're going to continue to pass you up if you do. Number two, the reason why everybody thinks everything is so expensive is because they're paying for it with their time and not their creativity. It's not actually expensive. You just have to have the right mindset. And number three, the reason why the greats are great is not because they're perfectionists, because they want to be the best at everything, but they have that element of being dumb enough and deluded enough to think that they can actually be the best. It's one thing to want to be the best, but then you're like, oh, but I'm realistic. I can't actually be the best of all time. I can't actually become a YouTuber and quit my 9 to 5, but I really want to. You have to be dumb enough and deluded enough. Allow yourself to be stupid enough to actually believe that you can do it. Because guess what? You can. I'm not someone who is dumb enough. I hope not. I hope you don't think I'm dumb enough to actually believe ridiculous things or tell you ridiculous things. It's not ridiculous, dude. I've seen it over and over and over at this point of people who are just normal ass people, including myself, do this. Quit their 9 to 5s and become YouTubers. I've seen it over and over again. You can do it. I promise. It's not insane, but you have to be dumb enough and deluded enough to actually believe that you can. Because in today's society, we are programmed to believe that you can't. We're programmed to go down a very, very specific path of high school, college, job, or high school, trade school, job, or high school, landscaping job. Yeah, straight out of high school until you die. I don't know. But being an entrepreneur is not ever an option. So whenever somebody tells you, hey, you can actually do this, you start to think, I would love that. I would love to be the best, but I'm not deluded enough to think that that's actually real. I'm here to tell you that it is real. Allow yourself to have that delusion because it's real. And if you allow yourself to mix in that I want to be the best type mentality with the delusion, that's a recipe for millions of dollars. Anyway, hopefully this video helped you out. I know it was a little bit long, but hopefully it was helpful. And if you guys did enjoy, please leave a like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and hope to see you on the next one.